Presenting. One of the most important things that we have to do in our work as a professors, lecturers, even if you're researching or even if you're students, the most important thing is to present, to sell an idea. But how to do a presentation interesting or completely boring and sleepy? Well, this is a very big problem. And my name is Linda Castañeda. I'm professor at the University of Murcia. And in this small video, I want to talk to you some tips, just some tips on how to do a good oral presentation. When you are doing an oral presentation, there are many different things that you have to take into account. Basically, there are many studies about this and many other experts that know many things about how to do a good oral presentation. There are 3 key moments for doing a good oral presentation: preparing your presentation, designing a visual presentation, your slides, and the presentation itself. But trying to speak about all of these things in just a video is basically trying to include the whole scent of the dessert in just a little bottle. And this is not the objective of this video. In this video, we are going to speak about tips on how to prepare. First, this video is about how to prepare your oral presentation, your discourse. The first thing, if you are going to prepare your oral presentation, please go away from the computer. The first things are about thinking. Thinking on your presentation. Thinking about what is the goal of your presentation, what is the meeting goal. It's not the same if you are in a classroom or if you are in a project meeting or if you are in a conference. And what is the kind of presentation that you are going to do? If it's a presentation by your own, or you are going to use a slide sheet for working, or if you are going to work with a small group of people or a big audience, it depends on you. So once you got this and you have clear ideas about your goals, there is the moment of being sure that you're the best, that you know your topic as best as possible. You are the person who really knows your topic. You don't need to have all the answers. But if you are going to talk about something, you need to know this something in the best way possible. Then we have to talk about the audience. You need to know your audience. Who are them? Think on them as a group is a very first moment. Who are them? But also try to think on them as an individuals. Why they are there, and what are the goal of each one of them listening to you, and try to answer to this. If you got these answers about your audience, you can control the levels of humor, the levels of technicisms, if you are going to be more focused on practices and theory, it depends on them. So if you got clear ideas about your audience, you can control the levels of your discourse. Then try to think on messages. What are the messages that you are going to communicate to your audience? First, think on what we tend to remember. We remember messages simple, not simplistic, simple messages. We love the unexpected messages. Something that we don't expect to see in a presentation like this are very, very effective. Then we need some concrete messages. It's interesting that you make a long discourse about many things, but try to be concrete and try to let them know what do you want to communicate exactly. Be credible. If you are always right, if you don't make mistakes, you're not credible, because nobody is completely right all the time. So be wrong from time to time and express your questions, your doubts. Also be emotional. The emotional messages are arriving to the audience faster than the others. And try to tell a story. Humans are storytellers. We are storytellers, so try to create your own story. But how to create a story? Do you remember primary school when you were a child? For creating a story, a good story, we have some key moments in the story. The exposition, the race in action, the climax, and the falling action, and finally the resolution, the end. But in terms of a discourse, especially in a discourse in the academic field, what are the parts? First, you have to make them contextualize the situation. Then try to talk to them about their problems. What are their problems? These things that you're going to solve. How important is this? How you think that this is crucial for their lives, why they are here and they are listening to you. And then propose your solution. Remember that not always is a practice solution. Sometimes it's a thinking solution, and it's a question of what to think about something. And finally, give them the resolution, how all these elements are working in the real life. And this is the end. This has a normal way to be. This diagram is in Spanish, but it's very basic. First, you got your audience, you know what are the clue message, the key message that you want to express, and you can divide this message in different messages, topic 1, topic 2, topic 3. Try to organize those topics in your proposal, and then try to give them an evidence about how this proposal is good for solving the problem or for give them a solution for their topic. In the topics that you want. And finally, in the end, remark the key message that we have seen in the first part. This in the discourse, in a keynote or in a conference or whatever, would have the organization, the structure as a saying hello and thank you for being there. Maybe make an icebreaking, questions about them, a little story about you. What are the objectives? What are you going to do on this conference? Try to give them a kind of index. Then the development of the ideas, and finally try to finish your big part of the conference with a conceptual, emotional message. In the end, try to say thank you again, especially to your audience that have spent their time listening to you, and be open to the questions. This is only the structure. With this structure, you can create a script. And only when you get this script, you can go to the computer to make slides if you want. But as you perfectly see, the most important work that you have preparing an oral presentation is not with your computer. It's basically with your brain. So good luck. Enjoy the organization. This is only a method for starting doing this kind of things. Once you have done your third or fourth presentation, this is an automatic thing. But if you see and you follow the steps, I will be very sure that you can develop much better your oral presentations.